Okay. I think I'm live right now. Don't have anybody watching yet. That's okay. It's kind of a last minute decision to do this live anyway. I was just going to record it and upload it, but I thought, why not? It is raining and I'm sitting in my car. I've got my heat on because I'm a little chilly. 48 degrees outside today. A little chilly for mid-May. But I enjoy the rain, even though we've had a lot of it. It's nice to listen to. Hey Joanna, welcome. A happy rainy day to you. I hope you're enjoying the rain as well. I'm sitting in my car, as I said, just trying to make the most of this, and wanted to share a quick little video with you guys. Not doing our normal midweek devotional / pandemonium series, right? We finished the 7 churches of the Revelation, so not sure what I'm going to do next week. Still thinking over whether we should continue going through Revelation or not, or doing something different. Robert Carson, my man, welcome. Good to see you. Hope you're enjoying the rain. Things are weird, right? I don't have to tell you that things are weird. Man, I'm tired of saying things are weird. I'm tired of talking about this. I'm just tired. If I can be honest, to confess to you, I'm just burnt out on the corona stuff, the pandemic, and the way that Christians are reacting and the world is reacting. The way that social media is now shaped by this pandemic and everything else in the world. I deleted my Facebook this week, right? Put out a notice about that on Monday. And I think I deleted it Tuesday morning, primarily because, man, I'm just so done. It's hard to even log in and do church stuff, and just see and be bombarded with opinions and articles that I need to read so that I can be in the loop and know the newest information, and reading even by people that I love and other Christians about their opinion and what they think about the coronavirus, and it's just hard to be so bombarded with those things. So I've just said, nah, I gotta give this one up. This isn't good for my soul. Hey Cheyenne, welcome. Hope you're enjoying the rain. So the great irony of what I just said, though, is that I'm about to share my opinion with you, right? So you have every reason to turn off this video, report me to the authorities, whatever. I know that I'm tired of hearing opinions, for sure, and what every other church is doing, what we should be doing, what you should be doing, blah blah blah. I just want to give you a few thoughts, though, that I have as your pastor, as your friend, that have led me through this time, that I continue to dwell on. And you may disagree with some of these things, maybe some thoughts you already knew. And Margaret said on the one of the videos, she said she definitely wanted to hear what I thought, but probably already knows. Some of you may have nothing new from this video, but before I even go over a few items that I have, I wanted to read to you Psalm 16. Psalm 16 is one of my favorite psalms, a beautiful, beautiful psalm. It talks about the Lord's goodness, His pleasures being eternal for us, and it has really guarded my soul these last few days. So I just wanted to share it with you before I dive into a few thoughts I have. Psalm chapter 16. Preserve me, O God, for in you I take refuge. I say to the Lord, you are my Lord. I have no good apart from you. As for the saints in the land, they are the excellent ones, in whom is all my delight. The sorrows of those who run after another God shall multiply. Their drink offerings of blood I will not pour out, or take their names on my lips. The Lord is my chosen portion and my cup. You hold my lot. The lines have fallen for me in pleasant places. Indeed, I have a beautiful inheritance. I bless the Lord who gives me counsel. In the night also my heart instructs me. I have set the Lord always before me. Because he is at my right hand, I shall not be shaken. Therefore my heart is glad, my whole being rejoices. My flesh also dwells secure, for you will not abandon my soul to Sheol, or let your Holy One see corruption. You make known to me the path of life. In your presence there is fullness of joy. At your right hand are pleasures forevermore. Psalm 16. I hope that blesses you. That's something I want to try to memorize, if not the whole psalm, at least a few verses in there to continue helping my soul out through this pandemic. So hey, welcome, those who are just joining. I'm just going to share a few thoughts that I have, and again, some things you may disagree with, some things that you may have already known about me. Take it with a grain of salt, turn the video off, report me, or listen peacefully. Number one, the coronavirus is real. The coronavirus is real. Now, I know that you may disagree on that one. I've heard some opinions, man. I've heard some theories about the hoax of the coronavirus, and I'm going to turn my car off now because I'm roasty toasty, and maybe you can even hear me better without that thing blowing. But I do believe that the coronavirus is real. Usually there's two questions that people ask me as a pastor. You know, not even just a Christian, but as a pastor. I think these are the two most popular questions people ask me. Number one, do you think all this is just kind of blown over? Do you think this is just a big mistake? Is this all just a big mess? A bunch of who-to-do over nothing, right? And then the second question that people ask me usually is this God's judgment over America, over the world, over the church? Is this God judging us, right? I'll talk about that one in a minute, a little bit. But first, I do want to say I don't think this is a total hoax. I think that the coronavirus is real. I know that the death count maybe is not as high as many people thought it would be, and the social distancing practices were probably new and unprecedented for our generation, and that has caused a lot of conflict in the world. But I do think it's a real virus. And so I don't think because things aren't, mass spread like, some other viruses and some other epidemics that have come into the globe, I don't think we get the choice to just say, yeah, it's not real. I think about those families who have been infected with this virus and whose family members have died, whether it be directly from this virus or complications from this virus. What a hurtful thing to say, that it's just not real to those people whose family members have actually died. So I do believe that the coronavirus is real. Number two, I also believe that humanity has severe trust issues. We come out of the womb not trusting the Lord, for goodness sakes. And so we are going to be very slow to trust each other. We're going to be very slow to trust the CDC. We're going to be very slow to trust the government. We're going to be very slow to trust your pastors and churches. Be very slow to trust articles written by important scientists and health professionals. We're going to be very slow to trust people. Adam and Eve did not trust the Lord, but put their trust in their own skins as they took the fruit. And so this is no different. If you find that your heart is not wanting to believe something, that is totally normal. That is something I experience regularly. We want to have a healthy skepticism, but we don't want to fall into the trap of just denying everything all the time and being those ultra contrarians who end up thinking they know it all at the end, or that we just can't know anything, so we give up. And that's just not a good posture to have as a Christian. So the truth here that we can say as Christians is that there are some real trust issues going on, both in and out of the church. Everybody who exists, every human being has trust issues. Number 3, I hope you know this, the government is not God. The government will make poor decisions. The government will make mistakes. The government will do things you disagree with. The government will not do things as the Lord would do things. The government does not live by the law of God. The government is not God, right? I mean, is that we need to realize that and admit it and open up to that truth that the government is not God and never will be God. Okay? We, on the other side of the spectrum, who are putting too much trust in the government, are realizing very quickly that the government isn't God. And so we're going to be let down and not satisfied with any decision at any governmental level, whether it be state or the entire nation, if we think that the government is actually going to enact things as if it was God. So we're going to be completely let down time and time again until we realize the government isn't God. But number 4 here, to follow up with that, the government is indeed deployed by God. The scriptures are very clear that the Lord sets up authorities. You can read that in the letter to the Romans, chapters 13, 14, and towards the end there. You can also find this in 1 Peter. He writes about this, like we are called to submit to the governing authorities. Why? Well, because God sets up the governing authorities. So even though the government isn't God, the government is indeed deployed by God. So we do need a level of reverence and a level of awareness that God is in control of every single governmental structure and every decision that has been made by our governor, by every governor at the state level, and every king and president and ruler over every country. The Lord sets up these rulers, and so He's involved. The government isn't God, but God does deploy the government. So let's have a good sense of awareness and forgiveness and submission to what's going on. That's a very simple way to think about it. So anyways, what else we got here? Number 5. I've got 10 of these, by the way. Number 5. God is not judging America. God is not judging America. Show me how He is judging America. I don't okay, so the Old Testament, sure, God is going to judge various people, including His own at times, by plague, right? I just preached Genesis chapter 6, right, where the Lord is saying that the earth is so wicked and these people are so vile and have every intention of their heart is continually evil, that I am going to destroy them and I'm going to blot them out from the face of the earth with floodwaters. He judges them by giving them these waters of death. And we see that again in various places throughout the Old Testament. However, post New Covenant, post Jesus, I think we see the most severe judgment of God being displayed in that sinners who don't repent and believe on Christ for salvation will experience an eternal damnation away from Christ, separate from Christ, in the place of weeping and gnashing of teeth, that place called hell. We who are not reconciled with God will face the wrath of God after this life. And so we even have the psalmist crying out in various places about why are the wicked prospering? So, the Lord allows the wicked to go on and to do well in this life. I don't think that it's necessarily, automatic in our brains that the Lord is judging us by giving a plague. I've already given you a real alternative And it wasn't just for the irony of preaching through Genesis. I really do believe that this pandemic is a result of the fall. The earth is cursed. We are under the rule of sin. And therefore, disease has spread, death has spread. This is because of us, y'all. We don't get to blame this on God. I would be very slow to do that. I believe that because of sin, we are in this shape. And certainly if it's an American thing, this does seem to be going across the whole world. I don't see the Lord singling out like one specific people group, judging them specifically through this thing. I just think this is a result of sin, not judgment. It's a result of the curse. So let me keep going. My phone is almost dead here, so I need to go fast. Number 6, God is reminding us of our need. So even though this is a result of sin, the Lord is still doing things with it. One of the things that I know for sure He's doing is reminding us that we are all going to die. Joey made that very clear in a sermon that he preached recently. We had this lineage, and all these people were inevitably going to die. And so you and I are eventually going to die. We need someone to stand before us and reverse this curse of death. That one and only person is Jesus. We are fragile, fearful, sinful people. And this pandemic has awoken not only the church, but the whole world to that reality. We need something outside of ourselves to help us with this great dilemma. And that only person who can help us with this problem is Christ Himself, who has taken away our sin, has reversed the curse of death, has come up from the grave in resurrection, and so we too can rise from the dead and overcome evil with good. Let's see, where are we at? Number 7. I do think not only is He reminding the whole world of our need, but number 7, He's also refining the church. So we are, I think, experiencing a level of good discipline. I wouldn't call it full judgment, but I do think that we're being disciplined in various ways. The church is realizing what it's like to have its door closed, what it's like to have difficulty in worship, and what it's like to have priorities in worship. You know, a lot of our traditions and what we had as priorities before have been stripped away from us. So what remains? Well, hopefully the worship of Christ and the fellowship of the saints and the doctrine of the church. These are the things that are going to remain, and these are the things that we need to see as the forefront of the church. Now, there's a lot of other ways other than those good doctrinal points that the Lord is refining us. I think He's refining us to see that we need each other. We've had a lot of time separate, so when we come together, it's going to be hopefully very sweet. We're going to realize not to take the church for granted anymore. There's a lot of discipline I think the Lord is giving us to refine us and make us holier and more useful for the kingdom. Number 8, here, y'all need to hear this one, man. Economic distress and death are both bad in any quantity. Okay? Economic distress. I'm going to plug my phone in just in case it dies. I don't want it to die on us. Where are we at? Alright. Economic distress and death are both bad, no matter the quantity. One person dying, we should not gloss over that. Okay? Just because multitudes, billions of people aren't dying does not mean that we get to just, roll over and take a nap. We should still mourn even one death. And we should mourn even one business that affects an entire family of people who now don't have the income they once had and are going to have some sort of career change because this has affected their entire future. And this economic distress is bad too. So sometimes we feel like in this pandemic we have to choose one or the other, right? And I don't think this is a choose one or the other thing. I think this is a mourn both of them. However many people come away having this virus or dying from this virus, the church should care about. However many businesses close or shut down and the debt of our economy, the church should also care about. We have permission to care about both of those. And so even though we don't want either, they are both happening right now. And we should mourn that, and we should love people, And we should do our best as the church to be benevolent and be generous and giving and take care of our neighbor and seek to love our neighbor as they go through these hardships. Two more. Number 9. I don't know the best way to get through this in every context and in every situation and every circumstance that the church is going through, the world is going through. But I do know this. Perfect love casts out fear. The world is fearful. You have been fearful at times. I have been fearful at times. Our community is full of fear. What are we to do? Are we to slap them with facts and articles that we've read? Are we to punch them in the gut with our opinions and our theories? I'm not doing that. You can do that if you want, but I don't see that is going to glorify the Lord. I want to pursue perfect love. Now, I know that love and truth go together. Jesus taught in such a beautiful way with love and compassion, but also truth-centeredness. And so we do want we want to use truth as we love people. But perfect love is that which has come down from heaven. Perfect love is that which has taken the form of a servant and has taken the cross for us. Perfect love is Jesus Christ. If we want to pursue perfect love in this scared community, we want to love like Jesus. We want to lay down our lives for other people. We want to commit ourselves to service. We want to give ourselves to the needs of others. We want to wash feet. We want to get down on both knees with our towel wrapped around our waist, ready to love people. This is what will cast out fear. Our community should be growing in a general sense of confidence and in general fellowship and feeling that they're not alone because Main Street Baptist Church exists. And because all these other churches exist. If you're listening to this and you're not a member of Main Street, right, if you're a member of Jesus' church, you're an ambassador of the gospel and a lover of neighbor, right? So commit yourself not just to throw facts in people's faces, but to serve them, to get on your knees, break your pride, and agree to disagree, and love them. Will you do that? Number 10, last one. I hope that you know this. This is something I've said time and time again, but here now is the real test to whether we believe it or not. God is sovereign. God is sovereign. Let me say it one more time, just in case you didn't hear me. I said that God, the beginning and the end, the Alpha and the Omega, the Almighty, the only one who ever was and is to come, the great King, the creator of the earth, the majestic ruler who reigns with justice and power and authority, who created all things and sustains all things and provides for all things and will one day judge all things. He is sovereign. That means he's in control. That means he's on his throne. That means he doesn't stop ruling. That means he doesn't take naps. He doesn't take breaks. He doesn't go kick up his feet and eat honey buns like I do. He works non-stop. So, church, do you believe that God is truly sovereign? Because if you believe that God is truly sovereign, who then is in control of the end of this pandemic? Is it the government? Is it the church? Is it the community who are fervent about their rights and will protest? Who is going to stop this pandemic? None but the Lord. He presses the red button to stop things when he wants to stop things. Okay? I'm ready for it to stop now. But I don't get to make that call because I ain't sovereign. God is sovereign. So there's my 10 points. There's my 10 thoughts on this rainy day. I hope that you're not too offended and you're not going to go break into my house and break windows and, try to persecute me or something now. You can, again, disagree with me all you want on any and all of these things. This was very lighthearted. I tried not to go too deep. To ruffle too many feathers or whatever, but those are the thoughts that I have on this rainy Wednesday. I hope that they're helpful for you. I hope that you can agree to disagree on things, and I hope that you can use this pandemic for the glory of God. If there's anything I can do to help you through this time, give me a call. Pastor Joey is available. All of our deacons are available. We love you. We'll keep you posted about opening up when the Lord gets us ready to open up. So have a great day. Talk to you later.